See, today I'm going to go over Shopify Plus. We're going over the pros and cons. This is not a sponsored video. I have no stake in the game. We at B2B Agency have been doing e-commerce for 15 years now. We cover all types of different e-commerce platforms, including Magento, WCommerce, WooCommerce, BigCommerce. You name it, we do it. So we're not trying to sell you on Shopify Plus. Even though it's a great platform, I want to give you the lowdown if it's good for you or not. So let's dive right in and let's see if it's a good fit for your business. All right. Okay, so let's start with a little meme of sorts. The three little bears scenario. So you have Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Little Bear. And no porch or the right porch is, good for them, but the other porches are either too cold, too hot, or the one that's just right. Same thing with e-commerce platforms is no e-commerce platform is going to be great for all businesses. It really depends on your business needs. So that's why you really have to go through the details for your business and analyze what platform is going to be the right fit for your business needs and not just what is the best e-commerce platform. So we're going to dive a little bit more into the Shopify Plus features and how to do an analysis for your business and to see if the features and platform are the right fit for your business. Okay, so there's many different platforms and each platform has thousands of different features. And so how do you compare what platform is the best for your business? So we have a simple way to do it with our clients that we have a spreadsheet basically where we analyze the different platforms. This spreadsheet, if you want to use it, link down below, you can download it as a template and then put in your own numbers. So basically, in this template, we put in the different platforms we're looking at. If we're, when you go with a platform, an e-commerce platform, it's just like getting married. It takes a while to set up, bring all your data in, do all your customizations. So you really want to be diligent about the platform that you pick, make sure it's the right fit for your business, and it's going to last a long time. So in this spreadsheet, we kind of break down some different elements of each platform to help each merchant decide what platform is the best, what platform would be the best fit for their business needs. But also, a spreadsheet like this will help your business decide, the key stakeholders decide, come together and decide what platform would be the best fit. So an example here is we have Adobe Commerce, Shopify Plus, and BigCommerce. You'll have the breakdowns of the pricing. This is the pricing page of the monthly cost, annual cost, and the total cost of ownership in the first sheet. So this will kind of give you a breakdown of the different price elements, cost elements of the different platforms. It'll also, if you want to put in information like credit card processing fees or additional fees of different apps that each platform will need, you can add that information in here to calculate the total cost of ownership, including maintenance fees, the initial development, and all basically the information you need to consider that platform, total cost of ownership, first year through the third year. The second thing we have in this spreadsheet is the business analysis benchmark. So this is where you'll decide what are the features that are most crucial for your business needs and give them a weighted average. So for an example, a B2B business, they'll have B2B features that are higher weighted average than other needs that they may have as far as maybe D2C features or marketing features or AI features. And so you can add these weighted features into here and you can give them a point system 1 through 10 for Shopify Plus, for Adobe Commerce, for BigCommerce, and it'll give you a weighted average to see which one kind of comes out on top. This is the easy way for us to break down. Once again, you have so many features and a lot of times people think that they want all the features, but there's usually a few that are the top criteria for a business. And if you can break down, hey, what are the top 10 features that I need? And then you analyze, okay, this is like really the most important for our business. Give them a weighted average. It'll help you consolidate kind of that information in your head and put it on a paper to help you decide what platform. And then once again, this is really good to go to the other key stakeholders of your team, get their opinions, get their input, also to show them how you've done your evaluation of the different platforms. And also in here is a weighted average of the total cost of ownership. So your licensing fee, your implementation cost, maintenance, scaling cost, and the internal cost of training your team. So some platforms will need additional training. And some platforms are a little bit more user friendly as well. So that's that sheet. And then the next sheet is a business analysis of the different features. So this is where you go really into detail of all the features of each platform. So once again, each platform has hundreds of thousands of different features. You can really get granular in here to make sure that while some of the features that you have are the highest that you need, there are some features that are, if they don't have it, you can't use that platform. So you want to make sure you can go in here and make sure that each platform fits the business criteria that you need. Make sure that that it has those, even maybe future requirements that your business may need. You can put them in here and see if it will be able to scale with your brand. And lastly, on this spreadsheet, we have a bunch of different tabs on here. You can browse through them. We're happy to go more in depth in these. But the other one that's very helpful is a ROI analysis. So this will basically, you could put into your expected revenue. Some brands come to us and they don't have any e-commerce on their brand. They don't have any e-commerce on with their brand. So starting from scratch, it's a lot easier to do ROI analysis. But even if you're moving from another platform, you say, hey, we expect to be able to grow 10%, 20% with this platform, then you could put it in here and say, okay, what is the return on investment from switching to this platform with these new features? We expect growth. And you can do a low, medium, high analysis. So that way, even if you think, okay, we think we're going to grow by 20%, but at the low end, it'll be 5 or 10%, and at the high end, it could be 30 or 40%. And that way, you have a gauge of realistically you're going to fall in somewhere between those numbers, and it'll give you once again your team a good idea of what return on investment you'll get from switching platforms. Okay, so the next area that I'm going to jump into is basically the growth of Shopify Plus. I like to look at this because user adoption or merchant adoption really, to me, shows a lot about that platform. So if everybody's leaving the platform, then there's usually a lot of issues. People aren't happy. If it's growing rapidly, then it means they're keeping their merchants happy and they're innovating, and it just shows that the sentiment is positive. So this is the graphs from a tool called Built With. You can see down here that Shopify Plus has 5% of the market, and Shopify regular has 13%. If you combine it, it's about 18% of the market. But they're really the dominant player in e-commerce for e-commerce platforms out there. They're the most used worldwide. And then I'll dive into different size stores. So Shopify Plus for the entire internet, you can see the user adoptions going pretty much straight up. So this is for all stores worldwide. Shopify Plus for the top 1,000,000 stores, merchants worldwide. Once again, very good user adoption, pretty much straight up. All these graphs are basically straight up, but you're seeing basically different size stores and their adoption. So a lot of people think about Shopify Plus as just for small mom and pop stores, but they've really started getting more user adoption for bigger stores as well. And Built With is a great tool that you can go to see what stores are using Shopify Plus and other different platforms. So you can do analysis on your competitors to see what platforms they're using. But here's 100,000. So when you think about the top 100,000 merchants worldwide, you're starting to get into really some of the top players. So these are usually merchants that are doing 10 million plus annually online. Once again, the user adoption is straight up to the right, which is once again good to see for Shopify Plus and their growth to handle enterprise merchants. And then last is the top 10,000, top 1,000. These are typically merchants doing 50 million, 100 million plus a year. Once again, really solid growth for both. The green line is the top 10,000 stores. And then the top 1,000 stores, which will be probably 100 million plus annually, a still solid user adoption. Next, we'll jump into another graph. Once again, to just be unbiased here. This is a Gartner Magic Quadrant analysis put out in 2025 by Gartner, and they do a comparison of all the top e-commerce platforms. And you can see Shopify Plus up here at the top right. And this is ability to execute is the line up, and to the right is completeness of vision. So how much have they actually executed on their vision compared to their competitors. So Shopify ability to execute is at the top, number one. And then as far as completeness of vision, which we'll get into more details of, but they are, in line with commerce tools, Adobe Commerce, SAP. Salesforce is actually outweighing them there. Salesforce is typically for really large merchants as well, but also another good if you're looking for top competitors for e-commerce platforms. Salesforce, Adobe Commerce, Commerce Tools, BigCommerce are all applicable players. SAP tends to be merchants that are using the SAP ERP system, and so they'll typically use that SAP Commerce Tools to launch their website. But they also sometimes use Shopify, Adobe Commerce, and other e-commerce platforms to go outside of SAP because SAP can be a big lift. Okay, so next I want to go over Shopify. So one of my favorite features about Shopify is their level of innovation. So as you see here, once again, Shopify's ability to execute is number one, and completeness of vision is growing. I'm going to show you why I think it will outgrow Salesforce and other competitors really soon. And the reason why is because every 6 months they release Shopify editions, and they do it in a fun, kind of quirky way. This is, kind of a line of records, but this is also every 6 months they release a kind of a new record of different features that they've released. And when they release different features, the nice thing is you don't have to go and upgrade your store. These are automatically released to all the stores on their platform, and they're typically 100, 150 different features or updates to their system. And they release them in kind of a fun way, but also they are super innovative on how fast they're able to innovate and come out with new features. So the last release was the Horizons release in the summer. It was their summer edition. It was 150 different features they released. And so you could go to their Shopify editions page and click on each one of these. And actually I have a different theme for each one that they drop, so they kind of have a new website and layout and kind of a fun way to present it as well. They're super innovative. They're always coming out with new features, and they're really the number one innovator with e-commerce platforms. So while once again they're not the leader with completeness of vision, their level of innovation is growing so rapidly and fast. I think they'll overtake the other platforms as far as innovation really quickly. And so this is just, once again, it's kind of a fun way that they present new features, but also just showing that they're super innovative. Not only are they putting out 150 new features twice a year, but they're also having fun with it and putting it out in a fun way. So you can always look forward to those. Yeah, the other thing that's big to Shopify Plus, and one of the main reasons people go with it, is their B2B features. This is one of the big things that Shopify Plus is innovating with. They're really having people focus on building out their B2B features. They're trying to really be a leader in this area. So these are just some of the top features that they have. I won't go into them in too much detail because there's a lot of features. And they're always coming out with more, so it is best to kind of go look up these on your own, but I'll kind of run through them real quick. So B2B features, they have company profiles. So you in your company are you have your store, but a company that signs up with your store to be a B2B company, they can have a company profile, so XYZ company, and then they can have employees under that company. So you have it all under one purchase order. You can have customer-specific catalogs, so each customer can have its own catalog. So you can make sure to show your B2B merchants the catalog that is the items that are supposed to be for them or for that merchant. So if you have a merchant that is only supposed to see certain SKUs, then for each B2B customer you can set up those catalogs. Quantity rules, so you can set a minimum how much you can order. It's pretty simple. Volume pricing, so once you hit a different threshold, you get discounts. You can personalize the B2B storefront versus the direct-to-consumer storefront, so it can look different, operate different. B2B purchasing patterns are just different than your direct-to-consumer. You can go headless, so you can build it on, you can innovate, build your own front end, or have a different app or communicate it through headless ways using APIs. Workflow automations, this is great for B2B. So you can say, for certain regions or certain areas, these orders should notify this salesperson, or if an order goes through, then notify another accountant, or if invoices are due, then send the customer an email again. So there's a ton of automations you can do, workflow automations you can do within Shopify Plus and its B2B system. You can just create company account requests. So a company wants to be a merchant within your company. They can fill out an application and put in all the information you need for them to be approved as a buyer of your goods, so that you don't necessarily have to approve everybody. You can go in there and have different requirements. You can have different sales reps reports, check out the draft, so you can your salesperson can go in there and set up a invoice for a client, modify it, make sure it's right, and then send it over to the client. A B2B optimized theme, once again, direct-to-consumer purchasing patterns are different than a B2B buyer. So, direct-to-consumer, you may buy, a few different items, where if you're a bulk order, you maybe buy hundreds of items, so the layout of the storefront is different. So they have their own theme. It's called the trade theme for Shopify Plus. So it's a good starting ground to setting up your store and having a good user experience for your B2B customers or for your wholesalers. You can have PO numbers, quick ordering. Once again, this kind of goes into the theme, but you can go in there and do quick ordering with a grid and say you want 50 of one item, 25 of a different item, 100 of the next one. So it allows you for quick ordering or quick repurchases. Flexible payments. So you set up different payments for different customer and customer groups. So this is very good too. Easy reordering. So if a company is always buying kind of a set list of items, they can quickly go in there and reorder those items. Vaulted credit cards or saved credit cards. PayPal payments, that's pretty explanatory. And then custom discounts for different merchants, so if they have a different level of discounts. Those are easily set up in Shopify B2B. So all good stuff. They're definitely innovating on the B2B front. If you are a B2B merchant looking for a platform, it's one to consider for sure. It really depends on how much you need customizations. If you don't need, super heavy customizations, this is a really good platform to go with. And the next thing is, and this is for most enterprise or larger companies, is to be able to connect all your systems. So Shopify has it where you can connect your CMS, your ERPs, your OMS, and feed it all into Shopify. This is for your B2B store or your direct-to-consumer store, so you can keep all your data in sync across all your systems. Their API is pretty robust. There are, other platforms out there that have, really good APIs as well, but that Shopify has really ramped up their efforts in having a lot of these direct connections already pre-built in, and then having unlimited flexibility with it as far as being able to bring data in and out of the system. And then this real quick is just to show you that bulk order grid. This is the trade theme. So once again, if someone's bulk ordering a sweatshirt, they're not buying one or two of them. They're not selecting a size and going back to the product page. They can say, hey, I need 50 of the red shirt, 100 of the blue, and 20 of the green. Once again, you need to customize this because they don't even have sizes on this layout, but a lot of times you'll also have that, hey, for each one of these, they just simplified it here, but for each one of these, I need 20 large, 30, 20 medium, 30 large, etc., etc. So they're definitely innovating in the B2B area. The other thing that Shopify Plus has is the Headless. Once again, talked about this a little bit with the B2B area, but this shows you, you can connect Shopify. You could build your own front end, connect it to whatever you want. But, if you wanted to have your own app, if you wanted to display a TV app, a phone app, if you want to be selling within a game, if you wanted to have a kiosk system where you walk into a store, you want to go there and be able to purchase, but you wanted to create your own unique front end for it and not necessarily have it feel like an e-commerce store where you have to log in and all that stuff. You can create unique experiences using Shopify Plus. All right. The next thing that Shopify is really innovating on is Shopify International, Shopify Global. So you can set up different stores for different regions, showing different currency, showing different payment methods, having prices for each different region as well. So this is for global brands that really need to scale their brand across the globe. And this, you can really set up different rules for different areas. So if there's different payment methods that are US based, and those payment methods will only show up there. Or if your European customers, need Bazoom or other payment methods over there, then you can set those up for those regions, which is great. Another great thing about Shopify and Shopify Plus is the ability to connect to other third-party sellers. So this will be connecting it to Amazon, Target, Walmart, eBay. So your source of record will still be into Shopify, but you can connect to all of these pretty easily. Send accurate inventory, pricing, descriptions, and that will be all synced automatically. So if something runs out of stock, then it'll be out of stock on all these places as well. So it's very, very helpful to streamline your business and sell in all the different areas because your buyers are going to be everywhere as well. Same thing with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all your social media, YouTube. Shopify is really good at integrating with all these. A few clicks of a button, and you'll have all your products, your catalog, synced across these systems so that you can use these different platforms for your e-commerce purchasing experience as well. Another super cool thing, once again, this is on Shopify and Shopify Plus. But their AI assistant called Sidekick. This is a really cool AI assistant. They're innovating on this, every day. It's only getting better and better basically right now. It's the worst it'll ever be, but it's already really good. So you can go in there and you can do different prompts for AI saying, hey, I want to create a blog post, and it will go ahead and give you a guide to creating a blog post. You can review it, create a blog post is one example. The other one is you could say, what about the top sellers of my store? Or you can even say, what are the products that are not selling well? And you can ask it to do a discount code for those products. You can ask it to say, help me set up a promotional code or a promotion for the holidays. So there's a lot of different things that the Sidekick is able to do, and it's being trained to do a lot more. It's able to give different reports. It's able to assist you if you have a question about how to configure something in your Shopify administrative panel as well. With their AI, you can also modify your images within Shopify. So what's nice about this is you can edit images outside of Shopify and then update them inside of Shopify. It's just another step. So within Shopify, you can go in there and ask it to change backgrounds of images, and then you can pick which image you prefer, and then that will be automatically uploaded to your store, which saves a ton of time. You can have AI, the Sidekick, also help you create high converting email campaigns. So you can train it on what your brand's voice is, and then you can also ask it to create an email campaign for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and it'll help you optimize that campaign and enable your marketing team to do more emails. And then lastly, with the AI, is you can train it to have a chat assistance so that you're 24/7 able to help your customers answer their questions. It can be trained on your product information and your FAQs so that it knows the correct responses. And it reduces tickets and also should increase your conversion rates of being able to answer basic questions for your customers. Another big thing about Shopify Plus, is their app store. Since they are the largest e-commerce platform out there, they have the largest app store out there. So, basically they have an app for everything. They have a huge marketplace, so it's an easy way for you to innovate with your brand, add an app, see if it works, test it out. If it doesn't, it's easy to uninstall and innovate from there. So that is basically a lot of the pros of Shopify and why you may want to use it. Some of the limitations that you'll want to consider for your business so since it's a hosted platform, a software as a service platform, it does have some limitations on how much you can customize it. So compared to other platforms such as Magento, which is completely open source and you can modify everything, you can't do that necessarily with Shopify. It does have its limitations. It is a hosted software. You can't modify everything. So that is one limitation. If you're looking at having a highly customized storefront, or you have some requirements that need to be highly customized, you may want to check that before deciding on Shopify Plus as your platform. The other potential limitation is transaction fees. So the cost of Shopify Plus is a flat fee, but then you pay a percentage of every transaction on top of that. So that will add up. The other thing is if you're not using Shopify's payments, then there's a fee. So if you use Authorize.net or any other credit card processor outside of Shopify payments, it's going to be an additional fee, which is generally around 1%. So it could be 0.15% to 2%. But in most cases I've seen, it's been around 1% fee for outside credit card processing fees. Other things like ACH, they'll charge you a lower fee, but you still have to pay a fee for outside transactions or payment transactions. The next thing is they do have the largest app store, but once you add a lot of different apps, and if you're a larger store, those fees will add up. So it's just something to consider. If you build, if you built your own customization on your store, you build it one time, you have it forever. With these apps, they can get expensive, especially if you have a lot of them over time, it does add up. Migration and lock-ins, this can be a limitation, but this is kind of a limitation with every platform, is once you've gotten built out with your e-commerce platform, built out a lot of customizations, it's hard to move out of it. So, being able to move from one platform to another is always, a challenge, and Shopify Plus is the same as other platforms in this regards. Another big thing that some merchants will run into is potentials for account suspension or for not being able to sell certain products. So if you're selling kind of iffy products that Shopify deems that are not good to be sold on their platform, they can shut you down or not allow you to sell them. So those would be something like guns, ammunition. Basically, there's a list of tobacco products, vapes, anything that could be kind of iffy, then that's not going to be necessarily allowed on their platform. Other platforms like BigCommerce they have a little bit more wiggle room, and then platforms that are completely open source, you can obviously sell whatever you deem you want to sell on your store. Data portability, so being able to migrate away from Shopify and getting all your data, it can always be an issue. But that's with, once again, every platform is just being able to migrate that data. It can be, and mapping it to another platform can be a headache. B2B and wholesale shortcomings. So they are newer to the B2B space. They are innovating a lot. I really like what they're doing there, but they're still behind some of the other top players as far as B2B and wholesale capabilities. I think they'll catch up pretty rapidly, but if B2B and wholesale is your main business, then they may have some limitations you want to look at. They're not quite as advanced as other platforms like Magento or BigCommerce. And then if you're doing a lot of multi-store, if you have a lot of stores that you're managing under one platform, Shopify Plus is newer to this space as well. They've only added this in, I think, the last year or so. And it's kind of a clunky process to add stores, manage stores. So if, once again, that is one of the main things, and you're running 10 different stores under one platform, then it's something that you may want to consider. Anyway, so I went over a lot about Shopify, Shopify Plus today. Hopefully this was good information for you to help you decide if this is a good platform. There's so much to dive into as far as every feature, and you really have to decide for your own business if it's, what are the top features for your business and if it's going to be the right fit for you. We love Shopify Plus. Our merchants love Shopify Plus, but sometimes there's other platforms that fit some of our other merchants better as well. So there's not really a good, one size fits all answer here. But if you need any help setting up a store or deciding on your platform, you can always hit us up at iwdagency.com, or there's links below. And we'll see you next time. Bye.